Good afternoon, I'm Giovanni Dennis with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're joining us online at onespotmedia.com. We begin with the story of one mother's quest to secure justice for her child. The teen, already traumatized by past incidents of sexual abuse, had an uncomfortable encounter at the Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover. Courier has this TVJ News follow-up.
This is Letitia Nicholson's second visit to the Lucy police station in days. She tells us she's here on behalf of her child, a minor who alleges she was sexually assaulted by a member of staff at the Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover.
The male nurse assistants actually go onto the ward and was rubbing down, and she got a panic attack at the same time where somebody shouted for the nurse, where they gave her some assistance there.
The incident, she recounts, happened last Wednesday. Her 15-year-old daughter was in hospital recovering from treatment following a suicide attempt.
We also had to take her from the hospital Saturday night because she wasn't safe, and she said if we don't take her, she's going to commit suicide. So we signed her out of the hospital, where now we have to take her privately seeking medical attention for her.
In a release Monday, the Western Regional Health Authority said it was investigating the incident. It also confirmed that the police have also launched an investigation. The employee implicated in the matter is now in police custody. The incident has also gained the interest of Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, who in a tweet Monday described it as most distressing. Although grateful that progress is being made, Ms. Nicholson says she will be doing all she can for her daughter.
I'm seeking for justice, and I told her, I said, I love you, my baby, and I'm standing with you, and I'm going to seek justice for you. You will get justice, you shall get justice, and you must get justice. So in the future, she's going into the future now, it doesn't keep a scar in her heart, that knowing that her mom knows about a situation which never get to be corrected.
Codian Barrett, TVJ News.
In the meantime, Education Minister Favour Williams says all is in place to administer the Primary Exit Profile PEP ability test on Wednesday. It comes after a year of challenges and online classes due to the COVID-19 pandemic. O'Shane Masters reports.
It all boils down to the last few hours for some 37,179 grade 6 students who are set to sit the Primary Exit Profile exam on Wednesday. Most of the students have been engaged in physical classes since last week as part of their preparation. Speaking with our news team this morning, Education Minister Favour Williams says all is in place to accommodate the students, including those with special needs.
This is something that the ministry has done many times before, and so, I have every confidence that all the measures were taken to ensure that this exam is seamless for students.
Grade 6 students in some rural parishes have been particularly challenged by issues such as a lack of internet connectivity for online learning. But principals insist the teachers have done their best to ensure the students are ready for Wednesday's exam.
We are ready. Yes, the school is ready, the classroom is ready, the students are ready. For the classroom, it is prepared in such a way that our dual benches that we had all along are now cut and are now single benches, and they are in their own bubbles.
Our students are very, very calm, and they have become accustomed to exactly what they will do tomorrow. We expect high grades, high performance, despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
Other mechanisms to prevent the virus, such as hand washing stations, have been set up.
Our isolation rooms where students will be able to go in case we detect any form of illness.
In preparing for the exams, principal of the Hanover Primary School said a number of counseling sessions were held with the students and parents. This in a bid to ease the tension resulting from the impact of a COVID pandemic and the shifting of the exam dates. The 1 hour 15 minutes exam will consist of 40 multiple choice questions and is scheduled to start at 9:05 a.m. However, students are being asked to get to their schools by 7:30.
Students are encouraged to come to the school earlier than 9:05 because they have to register. And I know registration starts as early as 7:30 a.m., especially if your center is a very large center.
Bashane Masters, TVJ News.
And Mrs. Williams says there have been no reports of COVID-19 symptoms among teachers and students engaged in grade 6 face-to-face classes.
None has come to my attention, and normally we get a weekly report from across our regions, who would in turn get it from the schools in their regions, and I haven't seen a report of a scare at all.
There's more pressure this afternoon for the governing body of the Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, to make adjustments to the upcoming exams. The latest call comes from the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. It comes even as the council prepares to meet on the way forward. More from Debbie Enright.
In a statement released to the media yesterday, UNICEF said it is concerned about the CXC's decision to maintain the upcoming Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC, and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, for students as currently designed. UNICEF is calling for CXC and regional ministers of education to make adjustments to the content and administration of the exams, in line with recommendations from the Caribbean Union of Teachers. The UN agency says while it recognizes efforts already made by CXC, it believes there are still a number of issues which require more substantial changes and flexibility. For example, it says no change has been made to the multiple choice paper, which will still cover the entire syllabus. UNICEF is recommending that the CXC remove all hurdles, including compulsory questions on paper 2, and ensure no one-question item tests 2 or more content areas. It also wants CXC to extend the start of the examination by 3 weeks. UNICEF argues that the current pandemic context has further exacerbated the gaps in preparedness among the most disadvantaged students. The CXC has said a press release will be disseminated by tomorrow and a press conference will be held to update the public on its decisions coming out of today's meeting.
And it's now time for a break here on the Midday News, but please stay with us. We'll have much more when you return. Welcome back. We're continuing the news. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is again calling for rich countries to share their stock of COVID-19 vaccines with developing and poorer nations. Mr. Holness reiterated the need for equity in the distribution and access to the vaccine. Speaking Monday at a webinar commemorating Africa Day, Mr. Holness said African nations are again being exploited by rich countries in the pandemic.
It cannot be morally justified that rich countries, many of whom gained their wealth and scientific advantage through the exploitation of Africa and its people, now use this wealth and scientific advantage to hoard and stockpile vaccines, while the poor and historically exploited and deprived countries wait in uncertainty to access equitable and consistent supplies, their populations at risk and their economies on pause. It would be the greatest setback for mankind if inequitable vaccine access were to cause uneven recovery and a widening of the development gap between the rich and poor globally.
Still on COVID-19, 27 new cases of the virus were confirmed on Monday. This pushes the country's overall case count to 48,081. The COVID-19 positivity rate now stands at 6%. 6 additional deaths were also recorded on Monday. This pushes the death toll to 931. St. Anne and Kingston and St. Andrew both recorded 2 deaths each, while St. Mary and St. Catherine recorded 1 each. In the meantime, 165 persons are hospitalized with the respiratory illness. 15 are critically ill. There are 22,555 active cases. Renewed concerns this afternoon that at least one fast food chain in St. Catherine is not looking out for smaller delivery companies under the government's e-commerce National Delivery System ENS program. It comes after some delivery men were allowed inside this restaurant in Portmore, St. Catherine during the Labor Day lockdown, while others had to wait in lines at the drive-thru. It led to a backlog in orders, with some couriers waiting for hours even when there was no one inside the restaurant. This has caused headaches for delivery companies like City Trend Courier Service.
Then you have to wait like an hour. So like we have a rider out there now from about 12 o'clock. What time is it now? Can't get him order all now, 1:30. So we got some customers from the call center, have the lunchtime, call before the lunchtime, can't get the food all now.
We have 4 bikes and we have a company, so we have to get a green plate. To get the green plate, we have to go to Transport Authority. That is 11,500 because at first, I think the riders could get the ends code without being a company, but now they need you to be a company. So that's 11,500 for each bike.
While it's understood that some of the fast food chains in the area may have contractual agreements with some delivery companies, co-owner of City Trends, Amelia, believes the process could be more structured.
I think they need to let each person inside and like each riders of a company, I think they need to do that